At the United Nations General Assembly in New York, U.S. President Donald Trump sat down with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, while at nearly the same time, on the ground in Ukraine, Russia launched a deadly missile and drone assault on the city of Zaporizhzhia. In that Russian strike, at least one person was killed and 15 wounded, with heavy damage to homes and industrial infrastructure. The attacks involved glide bombs and drone barrages, intensifying fears that civilian targets are being deliberately hit in the ongoing conflict. Zelensky, speaking at the UN and in bilateral talks, called for a robust Western response, a no-fly zone, shared air defenses, and joint systems to neutralize Russian drones and missiles. He argued that if Ukraine and its allies could dominate the skies, Russia's ground operations would collapse. Meanwhile, Trump, once hesitant about deeper involvement, stunned observers by shifting his stance. He called Russia's war aimless, stated that Ukraine could win back all its territory, and openly supported NATO countries shooting down Russian aircraft if they violated Allied airspace. This marks a significant pivot. Previously, Trump had floated the idea of Ukraine negotiating away some territory for peace. Now his rhetoric signals full support for Ukraine's territorial integrity, though he has stopped short of promising new U.S. military deployments. The strategic implications are enormous. If NATO were to enforce airspace boundaries with force, even preemptively, the chances of direct confrontation with Russian forces would increase dramatically. Russia, for its part, is already testing the limits by flying close to NATO borders, raising the stakes of any misstep. Zaporizhzhia remains a critical flashpoint. Located in southern Ukraine and home to Europe's largest nuclear power plant, the region has faced repeated strikes throughout the war. The plant remains under Russian control, and each attack nearby raises fears of a nuclear incident or massive environmental fallout. Zelensky used his UN appearance to renew calls for deeper sanctions on Moscow, particularly in the energy sector. He urged the West to sever remaining revenue streams that fuel Russia's war effort and called for stricter enforcement of existing restrictions. From the Russian perspective, escalating air raids serve a dual purpose: inflict damage and test international response. But with Western leaders now more vocal, and with Trump unexpectedly aligning with harsher measures, Russia's calculation could backfire.